guys, Marissa here and welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to be taking this clear ornament and turning it into a little snowman. So what you're going to need is a clear ornament. Mine is pretty large. I'm not sure of the exact size, but it's a big one and it's fully round. And then you're going to need your snowman face. I used my Cricut to cut this out. Transfer paper, some white paper, a pencil or something round to curl your paper around. And I'm going to be using this like cutting guide to tear my paper. These are actually just blank pages out of an old book that I'm using for something else, so I just ripped them out and I really like this ripped edge look, so I decided just to rip the rest of my strips. And then you're also going to need a paper towel and some rubbing alcohol. These are just to clean off the surface of the ornament to make sure that the decal sticks. You could also just use nail polish remover, peroxide, something like that, just to remove the grease off of the ornament to make sure that the decal really sticks and that it's not going to peel off. Alright, so I'm going to start by ripping my sheets of paper into little strips. I'm just using this sewing cutting guide just for a straight edge, and I'm just going to rip it just like that. My strips are probably ½ an inch to an inch. I'm not really particular, but we are going to be curling these, so the wider the strip of paper, it makes it a little more difficult to curl, so I do want to keep them pretty thin. So I'm just going to continue ripping quite a few of those until I think I have enough to make enough curls to fill the inside of my ornament. Alright, so that is about 2 sheets of paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to I'm using a paintbrush. You could use a pencil, a chopstick, whatever you want. And I'm just going to roll my paper around my paintbrush. And then all the way down, and then I just want to roll my fingers around it a few extra times right over that paper just to create a little bit of heat. And then when I pull this off, it's going to create a little curl just like this. So that's what I'm going to be doing with all of my paper strips that I just cut. So you can see that again. I just start at one end. It's a little hard to see with this white paper on my white table, but I wrap it around. I get the whole strip on there, and then I just run my fingers over it to create a little bit of heat and friction. And then when I take it off, it just kind of stays. So that's how that is. They do uncurl a little bit, but that's okay because we're going to be putting these inside of the ornament. So this is going to be like the little bits of snow inside for our snowman ornament. But you could easily do this with white construction paper, white printer paper. You could even do other colors of paper like a light blue, really to give that like wintry, snowy effect. So I'm just going to continue this with all of these pieces of paper. Alright, now that I have all of my curls done, I am going to go ahead and put them in the ornament. So I'm just going to pop the top off carefully and set that aside. And then I just begin putting all of my little curled papers inside the ornament. I did end up using 3 sheets of the book paper. Like I said before though, you can use as little or as much as you want until you get the desired fullness. Next, I'm going to just put my lid back on the ornament, so pinch those 2 wire pieces together and stick it back on the top. There we go. Alright, next we're going to put this sticker on. So I'm going to take my rubbing alcohol. This is just out of my medicine cabinet. It's 50% isopropyl alcohol. It's for first aid purposes. I'm just going to dip a little bit onto my paper towel. You don't need very much at all, because you do want your ornament to be completely dry by the time you're ready to put your decal on. So I'm just going to rub down the side that I'm going to put my little snowman decal on, making sure you get it nice and clean. And then you might need to go back with the paper towel and just dry it off a little bit. I'm gonna let that sit and dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to take my snowman face and I'm gonna use, this is just transfer paper. It actually came with my vinyl. I ordered my vinyl off of Amazon. I cut the transfer paper to be the same size as the snowman face. So I'm just gonna place that on the sticker. So you want to take your transfer paper and cover your entire decal with it, and once you have that done, just make sure that it's really pressed down. I like to take my fingernail or the end of a spatula or something just to make sure that I really have pressed down on all of those vinyl pieces. Then I'm going to use my paper towel to kind of hold my ornament in place, and I want to kind of eyeball where I want my snowman to be. Peel the back of your vinyl decal off very carefully, making sure not to pull any of the vinyl off with it. This is the tricky part. You got to hold your ornament and your vinyl decal and stick it on. So once I have it touching, I just want to smooth it out. Since it's a round surface, it's going to be a little tricky. So I'm starting with my nose of my snowman just because that is the largest piece. And then I'm going to work to one eye and the other, pressing pretty hard, just making sure that it's sticking down there pretty well. And then I'm going to start working towards the mouth. So work each little dot of the mouth, pressing down the vinyl to the ornament. Now you can see there is wrinkles in my transfer paper. There is not any wrinkles in my vinyl though, so I've placed those wrinkles in between the vinyl dots so that the vinyl is sticking to the ornament, but the transfer paper is wrinkling up. So now I'm just going to carefully peel back my transfer tape. I like to do this pretty slow because if there is a spot that is not stuck down, I want to make sure that I can press it back down. There we go. And that is it. So you can go ahead, hang this on your tree, and it makes a nice cute little snowman ornament. Now there is no face on the back is still clear, but here's the front little face.